really freaky if that door opened right now, wouldn't it? There's no one else here, so that wouldn't happen anyway. Hey guys, so today is the 7th of November. I'm just kind of here in bed this morning. It's ridiculously cold outside. I have no idea what temperature it is, but it just is like, oof. It says 59. It doesn't feel like 59 degrees outside. So that's why I'm under the blanket at the moment. But it's nice because sometimes you just gotta change the place where you're writing. My desk is literally like right next to me. I could touch it from here. But it's nice sometimes being able just changing just one little bit of setting can sometimes change up your writing environment, which can sometimes allow you to write more freely. I find sometimes when I'm at the desk, I think too seriously, and I'm trying to be very professional and all that good stuff, and sometimes you gotta change that up and you gotta be somewhere else. Hence why this morning I'm writing under my blanket in my bed. Hey guys, welcome back to the Phoenix Inkwell. This YouTube channel is where I hope to encourage you and encourage others to share their stories through creativity. I do so by sharing my own story, as well as what I'm learning as a creator slash creative in the 2020s. So this week is week 2 of, or just completed week 2 of NaNoWriMo, as the kids like to call it. And this week was actually a lot of fun. I actually had a lot of really great experiences this week. I went to quite a few different writing meetups, both virtual and in person. I actually do have a couple things I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be joining a writers meetup later on this evening at a Barnes & Noble. That's going to be a lot of fun. And then also I plan on stopping by the library just to get out after lunch, just to be able to get some different spaces and get my energy flowing. So I'll see you guys a little bit later.
Hey guys, so I just got out of a really cool write-in meetup at Barnes & Noble. Met some really awesome people that are also taking part in NaNoWriMo. I just kind of wanted to take a second just to talk about how great being able to write together in community is, particularly in this, particularly during this competition. Sometimes writing can be really lonely, and in some ways it kind of needs to be in some places, but it's also really nice having a community of people that are kind of like you, where they understand some of the stuff that you're talking about. Like, I really enjoyed being able to talk to somebody else about, just how grueling the editing process is and how nerve-wracking it can be to publish something. This is the first time I was able to kind of go out in a group as a writer and really just kind of hang out and really enjoy some company. They all kind of seem to be around my age too. So, it's just really awesome just being able to just take part in that community and, really rejuvenate. Like, it actually, like, I feel really inspired and really happy to kind of be a part of this. And it kind of makes me want to go back home and write some more. And that's the other great part is that I got in quite a bit of writing done too. When I got in, I think during the little writing sprint that we did at the end, which, by the way, for those of you that don't know, a writing sprint is basically you select a certain amount of time, you set a timer, and then you count how many words you were able to write in that time. It's something that's really great to do in a group because there's a little bit of a challenge to it, but also just encourages you to write fast, not think a lot. If you're someone like me that has a lot of issues with turning off your editor brain sometimes, it's a really great tool to be able to turn that off and just write quickly because you won't have time to edit. So something that was cool is that I got in like over 1,000 words in that time while I was there, which was pretty freaking awesome. I think it was like at the end of it was like 1,300 words just in that little 2-hour block, which is pretty awesome. I've said awesome like 18 times at this point. I just can't help it. Like it was a really great experience. I really enjoyed it. And I'm kind of hoping that I'll be able to take part in the one on Saturday, even though I'll have to leave early because I have work. But yeah, it's just so awesome. I can't wait. It's gonna be a total blast.
And it was really cool being able to be around people that are similar. I think sometimes the importance of community is sometimes forgotten when it comes to writing. It's kind of sold as this very solitary activity, but there's a surprising amount that can come from just being in a community of different writers. And I'll be honest, for me, honestly, it's probably the best part about NaNoWriMo so far has been the community piece, being able to connect with people that are very similar. So the writing updates, like the writing meetups, freaking rule. They're the coolest thing on the planet. Right now, just to kind of give you all an update as far as where I'm at in writing. So right now I am at 10,348 words as of November 11th at 10:33 in the evening. So that's been a little under 1,000 words a day. If we kind of look at the traditional path to success, when you look at NaNoWriMo, the traditional path, I'm a little ways behind, which is okay. I can definitely catch up, and hopefully I get to that 50,000 word goal again by the end of the month at November 30th. So today I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about some of the things I was able to take part in this week with the meetups and that kind of stuff, and really kind of dive in deep around the balance of writing while you're juggling, regular life, family, friends, work, all this different kind of stuff. I had a pretty interesting conversation earlier this week with my brother-in-law that actually kind of summarized this really well. He went to a conference earlier this week, and the guy talked about, I sort of asked a question about, well, how do I balance work with my spouse and my kids? And what he had said is that realizing that it wasn't actually just balancing 3 things, it was like balancing like 36 different things. And I think that actually is sort of the key takeaway with some of the balance when it comes to work-life balance. We hear about this a lot. It's a pretty popular topic, not just with writers, but in every field, work-life balance. And the idea, I think, comes from is understanding what your balance looks like, and then knowing how to plan it properly to get to that particular space. Like for myself, writing is not my full-time job. It is on the side. It's a supplemental thing. I work a full-time position, at least 40 hours a week. On average, it's usually probably a little closer to 45. And then I have my writing, and then I also have this YouTube channel where I'm putting out videos. And then there's also the other stuff that goes along with that. So I have things like family responsibilities. I I have, just general house things that I have to do and keeping my living space livable during this time. And of course, I don't want to completely kill my social life. So being able to balance that out as well is super important. But it can be difficult, especially in times where there's a lot going on. This month, November, is a very busy month, even for non-writers. Just the amount of stuff that happens in November with the holidays coming up and Thanksgiving, obviously having a lot of preparation to do for that. There's a lot of moving plates, if you will. So one thing that I found that was very helpful with that is a little technique called calendar blocking. And it basically works a little bit like this, is that you take everything that you're going to do throughout the day and you put it into a calendar. And what this allows you to do is that it allows you to visualize what your tasks looks like for that day. And you choose where things go and what stuff goes on that particular calendar. If it's on the calendar, it gets done. If it's not on the calendar, it doesn't. That's a very simplified version of it. There's also a ton of videos on YouTube that go in depth into calendar blocking. And in fact, I will probably do a video on calendar blocking as well, because that's a whole video all in itself. But what that allows you to do is one, it helps you realize that you actually have more time than you might think, especially when it comes to writing, because many times with writing, it's those little pieces in between the large blocks that really make the difference. I talked about in my little recap of the writing meetup that we did writing sprints. And those were usually only like 10-15 minutes, but you get a lot of writing done during that time. And those things add up over time. So calendar blocking really helped in locating more time. In a way, I almost call it like a budget for your time, a time budget. The next thing is you have to know which plates you can allow to break. The goal is not to break plates. You want to keep all the plates spinning up in the air. But there's some plates that are big plates that under no circumstances cannot break under any circumstances, lest your life fall into chaos. And then there's also medium-sized plates that, it would hurt if it breaks, but it's not as important as the large platter plates. And then there's the small plates that, obviously, yes, we want to make sure that those get taken care of, but they're extra. They're not really, the most important thing right at that moment. And knowing which plates are safe to allow to break is very, very important. And I found that calendar blocking for me helped with that, because I was able to plan out the things that under no circumstances this must get done. I have to go to work. I have to write. I have to work on the YouTube channel, and I have to see my family. Those 4 things had to be done. So I would put them in the calendar somewhere, and I would make sure that they get done. Everything else, I could build around it. And what this did is it allows you to build systems in place that allow you to save time. So for instance, instead of going to the grocery store to go grab the stuff myself, I use Instacart, which obviously is for those of you that don't know, is a grocery delivery service. And what that enabled me to do is that allow somebody else to shop for those particular groceries, gather them up and bring them on over to my apartment, while in the meantime be able to use that time for writing or recording or editing, whatever it was. And the benefit of this is pretty obvious. Those tasks, particularly for things like grocery shopping and that kind of stuff, those can take a fair amount of time, especially if you're in the store kind of walking back and forth and grabbing stuff. And when you know which of those plates you can sort of pass off to somebody else, or you can allow them to break, or you can allow them to get taken away. Sometimes there's just things that don't really need to get done this week or ever. I found that, maybe I can cut a little bit of my YouTube watching time to be able to write a little bit more. I can afford to sort of realign some extra hours at work on a particular day rather than every day, so that way I could get back in time to be able to take part in a writing meetup, which I was able to do this week. So there's different things. There's a lot of different stuff. And when you do calendar blocking, I find that helps with that a lot. That also being said, kind of getting back to, again, the importance of community. It was just really nice being able to have a group where you can sort of just think together. What I mean by that is, be able to bounce ideas off of each other, connect over your similarities. You learn new ways of doing things. I always make the joke is that a lot of writers kind of have that moment of that speech from Lord Farquaad in Shrek. It's always great being able to relate with people that can understand what you're talking about. And it encourages you and it refuels you, which is pretty awesome. Every time that I took part in one of those writing meetups, I felt re-energized and ready to get back into writing. So not only did I write during that time, but I left ready to write more, which is really awesome. So if you are doing NaNoWriMo, I highly encourage you to get involved with your local groups, local NaNoWriMo groups, and, network, communicate, all that great stuff. So that's really going to be kind of it for this week. I am thinking about possibly doing some other different stuff on the YouTube channel this week. There's a couple videos that I kind of want to put together that'll help tips wise. So things like how to build convincing characters. There was a lot of talk about world building in some previous writing streams that I watched over the last couple of days that I think would be cool to make a video on that. Obviously calendar blocking, like we talked about here, would be a great video. Even also just let me know if you guys would be interested in even just like a writing stream of just hosting one. I'm thinking about probably doing that at some point this week. So if you are interested in that, be sure to hit the bell icon so that way you can get notified of when that goes live. Because obviously writing together is more fun than writing by yourself. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. If you enjoyed this video, I hope that you have. I hope that you've learned something. And I hope that it's been interesting, entertaining, or informative for you. And if it has any of those things, feel free to also share it by clicking the little share button. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and sign off from here, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye. I know I've said this 15 times, but I can't stress how fantastic it's been to be able to connect with people that understand you at a creative level. Which is always fun. Always fun.